Hi, I'm Lily, the owner of Hearth and Homestead. With summer approaching fast, we wanted to make a video to show you what to do if your tallow happens to melt in transit. Because tallow balm is a natural product, it is natural for it to melt when it encounters heat. However, unfortunately, that means that instead of a nice, soft, whipped tallow balm, you might end up with a little bit of a gritty, firm tallow balm. So I'm going to share with you two easy ways that you can fix your tallow at home pretty quickly. One of them is the super fast way that doesn't involve really anything except for a pot. And then the other one is the way that's a little bit more time consuming, but will get you just back to that nice whipped texture. So first off, let's just take a look at our tallow balms here. I have two to compare. This one over here is one that has not flattened out. It's exactly the right texture, what you want. It's nice and fluffy and buttery and creamy, and that's how you want it to look when you use it and it'll feel much softer and smoother that way on your skin. Now this one over here, as you can tell, it looks like I have half of a jar filled. Well, that's not really what happened. What happened is the heat has deflated it. It also has changed the texture. You see it has a yellowy color, it's darker, it's pastier. It actually almost has a grit to it too. Its texture is just a little bit different. And this is super normal. This is just what happens when you melt the tallow and then don't cool it properly. So it melted in your hot mail truck and then it just sat on your porch or sat in your house and got back to room temperature. So it's just a little bit unpleasant feeling. And of course, it still works just as well. This is still nourishing to your skin in the same way as this one, but it doesn't feel as nice or look as pretty. So there's a super easy way to fix this. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. All right, so here's method one. This is the easy peasy one when you're just trying to hurry up and get it done and you don't have time to stand around with a mixer. So all you need to do is take your tallow balm and make sure your lid is on really good. And then you're gonna take a little pot, maybe about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of water in it. So it maybe just comes up about this far. You don't wanna flood the jar. And bring it to a simmer, just so there's tiny little bubbles in the pot and there's some steam coming up, not a full boil. And just stick the full jar in there. And we're gonna leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes. Not very long, just long enough for it to melt completely and be completely liquid. Okay guys, this is ready. So this is after about 8 minutes in the hot water. So I'm putting it right on a tea towel and drying it off pretty well because we don't want to get any water inside of our tallow. And then I'm going to take off the lid. I'll do one last check. And oh yeah, we're completely melted. You can see there's no white left in there, no floating bits of tallow. So we're fully melted, and now the next step is to take this whole jar and stick it in the fridge. And I'm going to leave the lid off now. So after about 10-15 minutes in the fridge, you should start seeing that your tallow is starting to solidify and kind of cloud over again. Once it's firm enough so that it's not jiggly, that's when you can take it out. So at this point, you can use it and it'll be nice and smooth textured. So if I go in with my finger now, you can see the texture is still very creamy. It's just not whipped. So at this point, it's easy to use. So if you just wanted a quick way to make it nice and easy to use again, this is your way to do it. However, if you also want whipped texture, it's just one little extra step that we're gonna take. So instead of taking your melted tallow and putting it directly in the fridge, what we're gonna do is pour it into a bowl first and then put it in the fridge. And this way, you got all of it out of the jar, so your jar is empty, you're not wasting any of it or missing any of it. So we're gonna take our bowl, which has a little bit of tallow in it, and put it in the fridge and solidify it just for 5 minutes or so until it's still a little soft, not 100% firm. And here we go. So after about 10 minutes in the fridge, you can see our tallow has firmed up. It's opaque. It's still a tiny bit soft, enough to where I can put my finger into it and you can see a little indent. We don't want it to be too firm or else it will be difficult to whip. So we're gonna try this and see if it's ready to go. Okay guys, so at this point it's definitely re-whipped It looks a lot fluffier and softer, and you can scoop it right back into your jar. So as you can see, it's got that nice creamy soft texture, and it's whipped now. So again, it's gonna go on just like it does when you get it from us on a regular day. All right, and that's how you re-whip or re-solidify your tallow balm. And if you have further questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly and we can provide some more specific advice.